We got some really interesting material today from EM360 Tech. It's all about synthetic data, a big topic in AI right now. We're going to sort of peel back the layers on how companies are grappling with scaling it up, moving beyond those small initial test projects. Our sources are pretty clear that synthetic data isn't just experimental anymore. It's in fraud systems, diagnostics, even autonomous platforms. But here's the kicker. Actually scaling these pilots, that's where things often stall out. It seems it's less about the tech itself and more about operational readiness.
That's exactly it. What's really fascinating and maybe a bit counterintuitive is that moving from the lab to production isn't just about cranking out more data. It's about really knowing when your synthetic data is truly ready for, well, prime time. So this deep dive will unpack what that operational maturity actually looks like and why making the shift is, frankly, a strategic must-do.
Okay, right. Let's unpack that. The sources definitely highlight a lot of pressure on AI teams. Why is getting hold of good real-world training data becoming such a challenge? And these privacy regulations like GDPR, CCPA, how much are they tightening the screws?
Well, if you look at the bigger picture, organizations are kind of caught in a pincer movement. On one side, you've got this drying up of high quality, diverse, real data, just harder to get. And on the other, you have these increasingly strict privacy laws about what you can use. So the big question becomes, can synthetic data really fill that void? I mean, Gartner's predicting that by the end of this year, a staggering 60% of data used for AI training will be synthetic. That's a huge rapid shift.
60%. Wow, that's massive. But then you see this BCG finding that, 74% of AI pilots just fizzle out. They never actually translate into real business outcomes or scale up. That feels like a huge amount of wasted effort and money. So what specifically is stopping these projects? What are the roadblocks between a promising prototype and actual production use?
Yeah, the material points to several key things. First, data quality gaps. Often, the synthetic data misses crucial edge cases, those weird but important real-world scenarios. Then there's the risk of models overfitting. They get too good at the training data and then stumble on new stuff. Or they just degrade over time. And there's even this newer worry called model collapse.
Model collapse.
Yeah, it's like, imagine you keep training AI on data that was already generated by AI. Over iterations, the model can start to lose touch with real-world complexity. It gets weaker, less nuanced. Think of it like making a photocopy of a photocopy, you lose fidelity. All these challenges are pushing the industry towards, well, more intelligent hybrid data approaches.
Okay, so we've got these pretty significant roadblocks. Sounds like just trying harder with the same approach won't cut it.
Yeah.
So given these hurdles, what is the path forward? The sources keep mentioning operational maturity. What does that actually mean for an organization trying to scale? Is it just a checklist or something deeper, like changing how you even think about synthetic data?
It's absolutely deeper. It's not just a tech fix. It's a fundamental organizational shift. It means building really robust governance. Things like provenance tracking, knowing exactly where your synthetic data came from, its lineage. That's vital. And re-identification risk testing. That's not just box ticking. It's about rigorously checking you can't accidentally link synthetic data back to real people. These build trust, which you absolutely need. And it's critical because, look, nearly 50% of enterprise AI projects struggle precisely because this data readiness piece is missing.
Right, and the sources give this checklist, don't they, for scaling readiness, verifying the source data lineage, completing privacy audits, properly testing for overfitting, getting all the stakeholder sign-offs documented. It really hammers home that if any of these are missing, you're just not ready to scale that synthetic data.
Exactly. And what's really interesting is the strong emphasis on hybrid data pipelines. The source material actually states this is basically the only reliable way to get to production-ready AI. It's about using synthetic data smartly, maybe for augmenting datasets, bulking them out, but then carefully blending in real production data where it matters most, like for those tricky edge cases or high-stakes areas like fraud detection. That blend, that traceability, that's how you maintain trust and get performance.
Okay. That makes sense. And we see the market itself is booming, projected to hit, USD 2.34 billion by 2030. Clearly, there's huge investment flowing in. But how do companies know if these scaling efforts, these hybrid pipelines, are actually working? How do you measure success beyond just, terabytes generated?
Yeah, success has to move beyond just the technical side. It needs to link to concrete business outcomes. So you track operational things, sure, like data coverage and diversity, but you also track strategic metrics. Things like, did we reduce time to deployment for our AI models? Did we demonstrably lower risk? Did we save on compliance costs? The real goal isn't just making synthetic data, it's using it to make faster, better decisions, improve privacy, and see measurable gains for the business.
So wrapping this up, if the key isn't just generating more data, but making the data you have truly count by embedding it properly into operations, what's the big takeaway for you, listener?
Well, it leads to this rather profound question, actually. Epoch AI estimates that we might run out of new human-generated public text data for training AI models sometime between 2026 and 2032. So given that, how will our current ways of creating synthetic data need to change, maybe fundamentally, to feed the massive appetite of future AI, especially when that original human data source starts to run dry?
That is a really thought-provoking question to end on, especially thinking about where AI is headed. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into scaling synthetic data. We hope you feel more informed and ready to think critically about this really vital area.
For the latest tech insights, visit em360tech.com.